Welcome back, everybody, to another Threesome podcast brought to you by BlendersEyewear.com. Use Staley20 as a promo code. You will get 20% off your purchase. You just got to spend over $50, which isn't hard to do on sunglasses. Unless it's Blenders, you'll have to buy 2 pair. So there you go. Make sure you go ahead and do so. Staley20, STALEY, is your promo code, and you have to spend over $50. You'll get free shipping and 20% off. Do it today.
Woohoo!
Sunglass time's coming up, man.
Yes.
Quicker than you know it. Too quick.
For some places, it's already here.
Yeah.
Not so much Michigan. We kind of missed spring so far this year.
But you'll get it soon enough.
I don't know. We've got another snowstorm, another Alberta clipper on the way. The snow won't stop.
Weather is just getting weirder and weirder as time goes by. And I do believe that some of it is artificially caused, but I just think we're also due for some weird weather stuff, period. And those two things combined is not a good thing.
I read it was a science-y thing the other day, but as with so many things these days, this last year and a half has left me just feeling more anxious when I was done reading it than I was feeling prior. Mm-hmm. They were talking about, like the die-offs, obviously the extinction of the dinosaurs, which they figure was that meteorite that hit Mexico, left that huge giant crater. They think that. But what this whole article was about was actually now they are starting to see that was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, that big, event that took place. But the dinosaurs were already dying off prior to that. And if you look at what they're doing now is looking at this new way, of looking at this, so that they think the dinosaurs were already dying off, and then applying it to what's happening now. We have already entered another die-off.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, this takes place over like millions of years. So I mean, it's not like poof tomorrow, but. Yeah, we are not helping things because of the climate change and our carbon emissions and all that stuff. We're not helping.
We're escalating.
Yes. But we are in a die-off. And, this is one of those things where I guess we need to start looking at, can we grow corn in a sunless environment that's hot and, because that's going to be the thing. We're going to need light if we want to grow any kind of food.
Yes.
And I'm sure they've got, if you want to go a conspiracy theory, I mean, I would be shocked if we didn't have places all around the earth, under the earth, that huge caverns that we could grow stuff in for food. But obviously it's not going to be enough to feed 7 billion people.
Well, I mean, we're only worried about us. America. Screw you, India. Screw you, China, Russia, all you gluttonous takers of the environment. As bad as we are, they're worse. You don't think of what?
I don't think of India as gluttons.
Oh my God, they're the worst.
See, I see them as all starving and sad, and
No, they're the reason why they are like they are is because of how much they've abused their environment. They can't grow things.
Right.
Everything's polluted. Everything. Water, the ground, even if you can grow it, it's, you're risking your life eating it over a long period of time. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, and they don't have things in place to fix it. They haven't come up with any laws or anything that are going to save that. And Britain's not going to help them do it. Yeah.
Well, are they even colonies of Britain anymore? I think they're like pretty separate, aren't they?
Some of them are. There's still some factions of it that are, but they're not helping them at all. They have no pollution standards. They really have no agricultural standards, anything.
Well, because there's so many people, they have to scramble to feed and stuff.
All the more reasons to have some things in place to change their fortunes, including growing things inside and things of that nature.
But we'll see. India, though, like that's like the last place now, I would think. I mean, they're already so crowded. They don't have room to like build big indoor places to do that. We do. We've got areas.
They do. Not everything.
Do they?
Yeah.
I guess I just think of all of it as Calcutta and then the jungle.
Well, hold on. I got to finish my protein bar. But, no, they have, just like anybody else, places that they could mow down and construct, very large growing facilities of vegetation. They just don't do it. It's not important to them. It's not the way they're, the rich are the rich and the poor are the poor, and they're not interested in creating something to give the middle part of the country strength, just like anybody else, just like us.
Right.
The only one who really does that is China. And the only reason they do it is because they have a smart dictator and government in place that says, we keep our middle class happy. We don't have to worry about revolution. And they're pretty much right.
They keep religion out of everything, too.
They're pretty much. They're pretty much right about it. So.
And they own us. So awesome.
And everybody else. Because, once again, they did it right.
Yeah.
Some of their things are horrible. Yes. But there's a lot of their... Damn fire alarm, man.
Sorry.
How many weeks has that thing been going?
It's like 4 now. Apparently the battery wasn't so dead. I don't hear it. It's not anything I hear.
The only time I hear it is when I need to hear it. When I'm like right now, just to be efficient, I'm putting some music up on the app, which song by song takes about 2 minutes at a time.
Right.
And because it's being loaded in real time on a waveform, it is distracting. Like, oh, it's done loading, or oh, it's when there's no alarm on there at all, but you make it seem like there is.
Yay!
So I'm like hearing it all the time, and I know we have a couple of consumers of the podcast that are absolutely done with it. They have had
Sorry.
it. As a matter of fact, one of them made you a piece of audio.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you've heard it yet.
Where would I have heard it?
I thought I sent it to you, or I thought they posted it on the Threesome Podcast Facebook page. It's the same. Oh. It's the same young lady that made you a GoFundMe to get you brand new fire alarms.
I've missed all this.
Yeah.
I don't think it was on the Facebook.
It doesn't matter.
I sense that fucker's going to be beeping for another 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't it?
The issue is, again, it's in the hallway, and that ceiling, because it's coming up off the stairway, is very tall. And I can't reach it.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise,
what
it would have,
That's what the GoFundMe was for, was a ladder.
Where was this posted? I didn't even see it.
Somewhere on Threesome Podcast.
Oh, I never saw it.
You didn't see it?
No.
Let me see if I can find it for you. It is there in plain sight. She loves you and wants you to have all the tools necessary for you to do your job. And your job, according to her, is to entertain her. And I couldn't agree more. So let me see if I can find it here.
I'm not seeing it. So I'm sorry if I didn't respond. It's because I haven't seen it. I just kind of looked through everything for the last couple weeks on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I think it was elsewhere.
But it's pretty cool, it's very thoughtful.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And you would have been happy to have read this. I can't find it.
See?
But I will. It's just hard for me to.
Lex is on a mission now.
It's hard. Well, it's just hard for me to look for it while we're doing the show. So.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Sorry.
So, have you watched any good movies lately?
I've watched a bunch of them. There's some I want to see desperately that I still haven't seen. Now I'm afraid I've missed it in the theater. I hope it's still there, but I want to see Black Panther.
Yes, I haven't seen it either.
So that's one. Just the whole Marvel thing is kind of weird because I don't know the stories of all these things. I just. I used to think they were all by themselves. I never thought they were all like a group that came from a certain area or what have you. But the best example I can come up with is Wonder Woman.
She's pretty great.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
And I think just from a looks standpoint, that she may be one of the prettiest women I have seen in a long time.
Gal Gadot or whatever her name is.
Gadot or
yeah.
Yeah, it should be Gadot. It should be beautiful and French like that, but it's not. I don't know.
Because she's Israeli, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It just sounded very French to me. But if she is Israeli, that would not surprise me.
And she's not Marvel; she would be DC.
DC,
so you know.
Yeah. Whatever. They all have their backstories of all being hooked up together,
right?
Or do they? Is that...
I was not a comic book person either. Like, when I was a kid,
yeah.
My parents wanted me to read other stuff. I'm not ripping on. That was my situation. So really, anything I know is from having the movies, the DC movies, and of course the Marvel movies. And then I do know people that read the comic books. So I would ask questions. Like what's this, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So I have, I think, at least a decent working history of what's going on with everyone.
Yeah. Because...
there were some, like the last Avengers, I think it was like with the Scarlet Witch. I would never have guessed that there was a Scarlet Witch. That's not a character for me. Obviously, everyone's heard of Wonder Woman. Everyone's heard of Batman. I had never heard of Scarlet Witch until...
I had never heard of Black Panther. Before
Me either.
This came out. But sure enough, it's there.
Yeah.
And there's that whole weird thing that went on with I think it was Stan Lee. He's
right now with the whole elder abuse thing.
He's a Marvel character, right? Or he's the Marvel guy. Correct?
Yeah, Stan Lee's Marvel, correct.
And people wanted the whatchamacallit,
X-Men,
Deadpool, and all that stuff. They wanted that married together with like Black Panther and everything else, and I'm not even sure if that's his.
Well, I think they are. The new Avengers that's coming out at the end of this month. Deadpool's going to be in it. That's what
I wanted to ask you about. Is
each time they bring a new, Dr. What's his face? Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, which had a movie in the last year or two about him, that character.
Yeah, so he's now suddenly, so they once they introduce a character with the movie, these Avengers movies, they are bringing all of them in. So Deadpool's going to be in the new one. Paul Rudd, bless him, I'm glad he finally got himself a big role, even though it's Ant-Man. He'll be there. They're bringing them all in, so it's bigger and bigger, because whenever they finally the big final battle, they're going to need all of the Avengers, basically anyone that Marvel's ever created as a character. They're going to need them there to fight the bad guys, because it's going to be this huge epic battle, I think.
And the bad guys are going to be the DC guys, right?
I don't think so. I mean, those are two completely different. That would be like saying, is Nike and Adidas going to battle it out?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not really into all this stuff, so I just need to know, exactly what's happening.
I don't know. I don't think there's ever been really any crossover.
Okay.
And they certainly wouldn't. See, DC's just failing terribly. DC just did the Justice League or whatever, and nobody went and saw it. I feel terrible because Wonder Woman's fantastic, but she's really at this point the only thing DC's got going for it. For whatever reason, nobody wants to see Batman or Superman. I think that it was too soon to bring Batman back after the Christian Bale, Heath Ledger stuff. Those were fantastic. You don't need a new Batman that quick.
And it was also weird, with killing off Superman, which they've already brought back in the Justice League movie.
Right.
They brought him. I don't know if
Spoiler alert. Sorry, folks.
Well, God, it's been out, for 7 or 8 months. Come on. If you're that into it, you've seen it by now.
Right.
So fuck you, for all of you that are out there going, fuck you, Lex. You spoiled it for me. Well, no.
His Twitter account would be @LexStaley. Please direct all hate towards him, not the podcast.
And if you can't remember that, you can remember my new one, Blow Me Justice League. @Blow Me Justice League.
Yes.
Which, I'm sorry, that movie was terrible.
I did not see it. I figured it honestly would be, and I don't know why they I love the Marvel movies. I love them. I love the superhero. They're just fun. I enjoy them tremendously, and for whatever reason, I just can't find that my excitement level for the DC stuff. And it's not that it's not like I'm a Apple versus Android type thing.
No.
I don't care. I want to be entertained no matter what it is. But for some reason, the DC stuff is not bringing that much joy to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Apple Android thing is a good example, because that's basically what it is. People have these preferences for
Star Wars and Star Trek, another example.
Yeah, for weird reasons. And I, as somebody that is not that enjoys the superhero stuff, I really do. I always like science fiction and all that, but not to the point where I'm paying attention to rivalries and things like that. I just like movie
for
by
me,
movie.
Again, as a person who did not read comics growing up, so I mean, literally my knowledge is all simply from the movies. In theory, it's the DC stuff. It's Superman, it's Batman, it's Wonder Woman. Those are all the characters 15, 20 years ago would have listed to you first if you asked me to name some superheroes.
Right.
I would certainly have never named Iron Man. Iron Man wasn't someone that was big to me, Thor, certainly not. The Hulk, yes, everyone knew the Hulk thanks to, the 70s, that TV show. But, I mean, the Marvel characters, they're huge now and very much in our culture. But up to they started making the movies, none of these characters were really known to me as a person who didn't know comic books. No,
I feel the same way. I'm basing it on a movie-by-movie situation right now. It almost gets in my way as far as being entertained with that kind of minutia in there. When I talk to somebody about one of these movies, they start bringing up that stuff, and it's like, all right, well, take care. I'm done with this subject. I mean, Deadpool... probably was...
I've never heard of Deadpool.
Deadpool was probably my favorite movie out of all of them. And I'm with you. I never heard of Deadpool as a character in anything. In any Stan Lee stuff, but apparently it's there.
Yeah.
And has been there for quite some time.
Captain America. I guess I had heard of Captain America, but again, not. I always thought it was kind of the poor man's Superman,
Yeah,
kind of like Batgirl.
And some of these guys, I have like a problem with them as far as their superpowers go.
Well, see, that's something I have asked, and you mentioned that. It is actually probably my complaint about, like, the Marvel movies and stuff. Black Widow, for instance, which I think Scarlett Johansson just does a fantastic job. I love that character. I love her as Black Widow. She's not really a superhero, though. And that's what I can't figure out. It's like, okay, she can fight, but she's not impervious. You know what I mean? So I'm having a hard time as an old bitch, like, to understand sometimes, okay, who's the superheroes and then who's someone who just is really good at what they do.
Right.
And so that's for someone I don't know, but she's very good. She's probably my favorite.
If you're talking about how people handle real life, Superman just can't hang out with Daredevil. A guy that basically has his hands full taking care of Hell's Kitchen, New York City. When Superman's like, you see him flying through the universe holding a planet, to put back in its orbit for them so they can live. And
turning it backwards so he could save Lois from the fault.
Yeah, and then he flies around, to put it back in its correct orbit. It's I'm sorry, but on the society scale, that's like Bill Gates hanging with the mayor of Poughkeepsie.
Unless they're friends. But no, I understand what you're saying. Agreed.
Yeah. And that's just not how the real world works. Superman, basically, if you're looking at, like, money moguls, is Warren Buffett. And everybody else is, like, Gordon Gekko to to somebody that makes a lot of money selling cars, at the Coggin dealerships.
Right.
I'm kind of put off by it. The Iron Man Tony Stark thing. He's a guy that built stuff to make him badass, but he himself as a guy is just a smart guy, in my opinion.
Right. So is he a superhero or not?
Right.
Because he's not. But obviously the Hulk is. Obviously the Hulk has stuff going on. Obviously Captain America has stuff going on. His physiology has changed.
Yeah.
He has stuff going on. Also, Spider-Man, stuff going on. Mm-hmm. But Black Widow, she's just very good at what she does. But she doesn't have stuff going on.
Right. And neither does Tony Stark.
Right. He just can cover. Well, he's got the hurt thing, though, but that hasn't changed. That hasn't made him stronger or better or smarter or anything. It's just.
No, if there's a power failure, he's fucked.
Right.
That's it. He's over. That is.
So unless he is so smart that it's his intelligence that is his superpower. I don't know, though. Because I've often wondered the same thing about Batman. Superman, obviously, again, Superman has stuff going on with his body. Batman is like Tony Stark. He's just an incredibly wealthy and also intelligent person who has his toys and his suit to protect him as he does his thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But you look at Superman, nobody touches Superman. It's not even... Nobody's in the ballpark. Nobody. I mean, he has a whole deal. He came from another planet and has history.
Oh, but Wonder Woman is a god killer.
Yeah, I mean, she's should
fucking awesome.
She should be. Yeah.
That scene where she climbs up into the field and starts heading towards the Germans.
Oh yeah, she's definitely.
I was like, that is just the best scene. That scene made me so happy.
If I can play Match.com, she should be Mrs. Superman. They should get married and be Miss Superman and Superwoman. I mean that's because nobody touches those two. They make little babies. Oh my God. Now you're talking, Lois Lane, please. Get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
He deserves nothing but the best. And from what I can see, vaginally speaking, she's it.
Yeah.
She's
the iron pussy.
The pussy, the eggs, the looks, the intelligence, the choice of fashion. I mean, come on.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
But she's heartbroken because what's-his-face died. So she will always love him and there will never be another.
Well, that's okay. Superman.
I don't know if there was in the...
Superman lost the love of his life, too. So, well, I mean, he and Lois are done because he died.
Oh. And I really need to watch that movie, I guess.
Yeah, he died and then came back. But, it's just not there yet. Their rekindlement is not, has not been shown to us. But let's just say it hits it out of the park. I'm sorry. Gal Gadot compared to what's her face? Adams. What's her first name?
Rachel?
Is it Rachel Adams? No, that's another chick. She's got like blondish, reddish hair. She was in that Arrival, The Arrival.
Jennifer Lawrence?
No. Her last name's Adams.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, is it Amy?
Amy, yes, thank you.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and who's really hot. in a
She's gotten hotter.
sophisticated intelligence type of way. She's extremely hot. I mean, I'm very attracted to her, but once again, what's her name? Gal? Is it Gal?
Gal Gadot.
I mean, when you look at her, it's clock stopping hot. And she's sophisticated, and she's sweet. Yeah, and
I've seen her, and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even like the night of the Oscars when she was running over to that theater across the street to like hand stuff out. She seemed happy. You could tell some of them were like, "I'm just doing this because," but she was like genuinely. At least she seemed to be like tickled to be going over there and handing out candy to those people.
Yeah, she's incredible, and I don't throw that word out to movie stars that much. There's really only two of them right now that do it for me. Her and
Meryl Streep, Blythe Danner.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh.
Who, looks-wise, is not your classic super hot chick. She just has kind of a snarky intelligence that is very attractive.
Did you see her get drunk on Colbert back a month or two ago?
Yeah, how
that was
great
pretty
was that?
awesome.
And
like, you go, girl.
and I don't know if you've seen the movie. I think it's American Hustle. But the part,
I think I saw part of it.
The part she plays, and that's kind of like a mob girlfriend type of thing,
right.
And she is just delicious.
Did you see her? Did you see Winter's Bone? That would have been like the first movie when she was like 17 or whatever.
I've not seen that.
See, I saw it a long time ago, like when it first came out. And so I had no idea who she was. And that movie, it was just like, it's just a huge kick in the gut, the whole movie. It's like one of those movies where she, plays a 17-year-old girl. She is a 17-year-old girl. And it's like life could not shit on her more. And life just keeps shitting on her over the course of this movie. And she keeps going, and she has like truly terrible things happen to her. Because the family's going to lose their house because they can't make the payment, but her no-good dad has been killed. But the insurance people won't give them any money without proof that he's dead. So her quest in this movie is to go find her dad's body. It's not to save him. It's not to like avenge him or anything. Her whole purpose in the movie is to go find her dad's body so that she can have the insurance people.
I've seen that movie. I didn't realize that was her.
That's her. That's like her first big role. She was nominated for an Oscar because she was freaking fantastic in that movie.
It's a great movie.
But it's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shitty thing that keeps happening to her.
Yeah,
she has this shit kicked out of her.
It's kind of like that movie that was done years and years and years ago where Kathy Bates was the mom, and they lived like in this cabin. And
Misery?
No. Misery was like a lighthearted, fun walk in the park compared to this. I mean, these poor people had nothing, and just start with nothing, and that's the best their life ever was at, and then it just got worse from there.
Right.
I mean, if anybody had a reason to do a complete Jonestown on their own family, these people did. And it's such a hideous movie as far as the mood it puts out. I now have to look it up as we're talking so I can make sure you never watch this.
See, now, you and I, we talked off air about this. We both have seen now The Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't really need to even talk about it too much. I didn't think it was best picture material, but I didn't hate it. But it wasn't like anything other than a very visually pretty movie to look at. it didn't really strike me as anything special. But Pan's Labyrinth, it reminded me a lot of that movie, which of course was done by the same guy, the Del Toro guy. And that was one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
That movie actually, it stuck with me for days after I saw it. Like, I could not shake that movie. It made me feel so bad. It was just the worst thing I've ever seen. It was like, oh my God, she's not a princess. It was just like... So don't ever, if you've not seen Pan's Labyrinth, don't go see it or watch it now, because it's just awful. God, it was just the worst. I wanted to take my own life at the end of it.
Oh, God. The name of this movie, I'm pretty sure this is it, is A Home of Our Own.
Oh, why? I think I've seen this now. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
The story begins in L.A., when Frances Lacey, Kathy Bates, takes her 6 children and drives north to find a home of their own away from the bad influences of the big city.
Maybe I haven't seen it, but it still sounds pretty awful.
I'm here to tell you, the big city in a dumpster would be a better place for her to take her 6 children than what they went through after that. I mean, it was just building their own cabin on this piece of land that they bought, and no running water and no electricity, and their kids' school books, get soaking wet because the roof has holes in it, and their little truck or car that they had breaks down, and they decide to get a horse for their land and horse and buggy to school. And of course the horse gets sick and dies, and then the wheel breaks on the wagon. And I mean, it's just shit like that through the whole thing. And you're just like, why did you make this? What is the point of this movie? Because that's all it was. It had no like uplifting message to it, at least, or anything. It was
right.
Other than, man, you better make some money, motherfucker, or this is your life, is the only message I got out of this. And if anybody has seen this, please message us on our Facebook page, the Threesome Podcast with the number 3, and tell us what the message of this movie was. Because all I got out of it was, man, you better get a job. And if you have 6 kids, you better get a good job.
Yes.
And the only smart thing she did in the whole movie was move out of the high cost of living that L.A. brought. Otherwise, they would have been much better off staying there. Maybe that's the message of the movie.
There you go.
Don't move.
Burbs.
Don't make a hasty move.
Yes.
Think things out before you do something.
And horses and donkeys will eventually all die.
Yeah, yes, as you can attest.
Yes.
And wooden wheels are not really.
They rot.
You really can't go to Discount Tire and get another one for your wagon. Not without them giving you...
It requires a lot of, like, wetting the wood and, like, bending it and letting it sit and dry and all that so that you can have a round thing.
Yeah, not to mention that, if they don't carry them, you may want to rethink your process. If they can't replace the thing that makes your vehicle go...
Right.
You better get into the 21st century and get your ass a car.
See, at that point, you just do like what the Flintstones did, and you have the log laying across the front, because logs will always roll.
Yeah.
See, that's all you need.
I want you to see it just because you'll laugh at how fucking.
Because you want me to be depressed.
No, you won't be, if you do what I tell you to do, you will not be depressed. You will laugh your ass off because it's just ridiculous what happens to these people. It's you just want to see what happens next.
You know what movie I recently watched, and I actually have quite debated whether or not I should mention this at all, because I don't know how I feel about it or my reaction to it. But I was looking through my HBO subscription on Amazon Prime, and looking through the movies, and this movie came up that I'd never heard of. But of course, I'm pretty much Amish, so there's a lot of movies I haven't heard of. So I kind of just read briefly the description, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, it's probably going to be some smarmy little romance, kind of like a Nicholas Sparks kind of thing. I'm like, all right, fine, it'll be light and fluffy. I'm just going to watch this because I really don't feel like dedicating a lot of time and emotion to a movie right now. So I start watching this movie, and I quickly realize, oh God, this isn't a romance. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I basically weep openly. One of those times I'm really glad I was alone. I wept openly for about 2 hours. I just sat there on the couch and cried and cried and cried. And anyone who listens and stuff knows my feelings on God and religion and all that kind of stuff. But it was the movie called The Shack, which is about God. Have you seen this or heard about it?
No.
It is a total God movie. But it's done in such a way, I don't even know. I feel like I was kind of tricked into watching it, but I did. And no, it has not changed my thoughts on religion or life or the universe or anything. But I actually really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the message that it gave. It very smartly answered some questions that have always made me think, this is why I don't believe in God, because of this horse shit here. And the movie does a very good job of answering some of those questions. Kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just doesn't appeal to me.
No, don't. I wasn't saying it for you to watch. I would not make anyone watch it. It's called The Shack. Just avoid it.
Only we would do a podcast on movies you don't see.
It was
that thing.
Sorry.
I have to reach out to this person and ask them, what their money level is at right now.
Oh, the GoFundMe, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to take a broomstick and just beat the shit out of it, make it fall off the ceiling, I think.
No, don't do that, because I saw that new Firehouse 19 show, and a girl was having sex and it was going off, and she couldn't have sex with that sound in the background. So they knock it off the ceiling, and the next thing you know, they're engulfed in flames.
Lesson there, don't have sex.
Yeah.
It's like all scary movies. As soon as you fuck, serial killer kills you.
But other lesson there, have your fire alarms work or you'll burn up in
or when you're,
horrible ways.
Installing them in your house, make them in a spot so that anyone in the household can reach easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
we
that.
should probably wrap this up, Lex. We're going way late again.
We are? I didn't realize.
The buzzer went off quite a while ago.
Oh, yeah? All right.
Yep.
Well, I was so into our superhero talk, I just thought it'd be a great idea.
It was perfect.
To keep going, but okay. Sounds good to me. Well, that wraps up our threesome podcast number 139, brought to you by Blenders Eyewear. Once again, your promo code is Staley20. If you spend over $50, you get 20% off your purchase for sunglasses that are super high quality and at the same time don't cost like they're super high quality. They, the price difference between them and their competitor. They cost like they're yeah, I mean, the price difference between them and their competition is almost unfair.
Exponential.
Almost unfair in the right direction. You almost wonder what's wrong with them, but I assure you, as a guy that spent real money on them before they were a sponsor and had them show up at my house and literally go, wow, these are nice. Like really nice for that amount of money. And that's why we're here now, because I would never pass on a product to you, Stacey, or our consumers that I didn't believe in.
He totally would me, but not you guys.
Okay, you I would. But then again,
he's looking to fuck me in every which way possible.
But I'd pay you back later, just for the joke. I am good like that. But,
you are.
But at first I'd fuck you over just to get your reaction and then make it right. Like I do with most of my relationships.
Yes.
Except they just.
And I'd like to point out.
They don't take a joke like you do.
I am always nurturing and loving and supportive of you.
I'd like to point that out too.
Yes.
You are.
No matter what you do to me. I'm always like, yay, Lex.
Yeah. You are. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what to do to change it.
It's okay.
It's a personality flaw. Help me, please.
You're my only hope.
Metaphorically speaking, save my donkey.
She's dead,
All right, well then save something else.
Laying on her side.
Say something else important to me. Like my financial status.
How's the prostate?
The prostate's good.
Good.
I've never had a super issue there, so it's good.
Well, good.
Yeah, I don't have the.
I've crossed fingers for you then.
We're doing these ED commercials right now for this product. For guys that like
Smiling Bob.
No, it's one of those things where it's done like over the phone, so you don't have to go to a doctor or be in a waiting room and run into people. Remember Bob? Not really. I think we had this discussion.
Smiling Bob. Come on, he always had the big smile and
the guy at the window in the commercial. That guy.
It was like he would do all sorts of different things, but it was always because he had an erection.
Yeah.
Yes. Those were like late 90s, maybe sometime in the 2000s, those commercials.
Yeah, late 90s.
I can't even remember what the product was because they always have different names.
But the product basically is so you don't have to run into people,
except with your penis.
The Smiths in the waiting room, where you see the wife of your best friend and she's like, what are you in here for?
Boner pills.
Oh, nothing, just getting the old checkup and everything. And as you're leaving the waiting room, the receptionist goes, here's your ED prescription.
Well, first of all, I don't think any nurse is ever going to do that, a receptionist.
You know what?
But I understand.
You know what I'm saying? People talk. And that's why guys don't like to go to the doctor. Period.
Is that really like a thing? Like, do you guys care that someone might look at you in a doctor's office and think, wow, I bet you he can't get a boner?
Guys just don't like going to the doctor, period. I mean, you really have to be on your deathbed to get a guy to go to the doctor. I don't know too many of my friends that aren't the same way. I think
women are kind of the same way too.
Obviously, somebody built a business around it. It's that big of an issue, and these guys are killing it. Because guys can talk to a doctor on the phone or on Skype and get all their the other big thing they do is hair loss. You know,
and then of course the Xenogenics, whatever that is, that creepy 70-year-old guy with the body.
Oh yeah, the airport magazine. They had, like, in what was the magazine it used to be in the
and he's
airplanes?
got those like really perky little nipples. Ugh.
Yeah, but
The Sky Mall.
Sky Mall. That's the magazine that used to be in all the time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen.
I hated those. They'd show him, and he's like standing there with his shirt off and he's in jeans. And he's like, I'm 70 years old. And it's like, oh, your nipples look like it. Cover them.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, my first thought was, that even though he's in like rocking shape, he doesn't look attractive being that age and in rocking shape.
His face was still oldish, which is fine. I'm not like ripping on that. It's just... But it became freakish.
But in other words, if you're putting that much effort into it, doing the weightlifting and doing the testosterone and whatever else was in that shit they were selling, no girl's going to want to fuck you because your face looks like a wallet.
And those nipples, seriously.
Yeah, I don't remember the nipples, but
they were perky. They were. Remember that Daniel Tosh bit where the life coach was like, had the breast pump and was like sucking everyone's nipples?
No, not a big fan. I never watched it that much. But his
nipples looked very long. They looked, I don't know.
Nipples are gross to me for the most part. Especially the giant areola ones. I can't hang with that.
Size of like a dinner plate.
You take your shirt off, ladies, and you got like a frisbee there. I'm gone. I am not calling you.
First of all,
for
that's
the next
not
date.
Fair of you to like say that out loud now, so that the girls who do have that right now feel a little less bad. Feel bad about themselves.
You're right. I take it back. I'm sorry, but
because let's be honest, 95% of them aren't going to be having sex with you anyway, so you probably won't see what their nipples look like.
Yeah, right. So you should just not care what I think. I'm a shallow person, and you should, be proud.
He likes little pointy nipples.
You should be proud of your giant flying saucer areolas.
You should.
And listen, I know guys that like that, though. That like that. So it's just my preference. Don't sit there and cut your boobs off because of me.
Unless you're an archer.
An archer?
Yeah, I think that was Brianna in Game of Thrones. And like some famous chicks throughout history for archery, because their boobs would get in the way. So they would hack their tits off.
Really?
Yeah.
I really need to watch that.
Oh, it's so fantastic. And we're like coming up at a year now, isn't it? Because it was like 2019. Isn't that when the last season of Game of Thrones comes? Oh, God.
Yeah, and
I can't wait.
Only going to be like 8 episodes.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Oh, they have a dragon. Oh, it's going to be so, just amazing. Cersei has to die the worst death any TV or movie character has ever died. She has to die terribly.
That's Lena Headey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She already had to walk through a town naked.
She's
and disgraced.
The worst. She's just deliciously cunty. She's just the best.
She was so amazingly hot in 300.
See, I only vaguely remember her in that.
Oh man!
But she was Sarah Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
In what was that? I never saw that.
That was like a TV show, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I think it was like 2 seasons. The Terminator that protected her was the chick from Firefly that was the quiet one. the not the hooker and not the mechanic, but the kind of weird chick. Summer Glau is her name. She was the Terminator in this one that protected Sarah Connor and John.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I never checked that out, and I was a big Terminator fan. I can't believe I missed that.
I know. It was like FX or something. I think it was FX.
Is that something I can go back and see someplace?
I would assume so. I've never looked for it, so I don't know if it's out there, but because it was at least one season, maybe two. So it wasn't like a huge success, but
yeah, if it's 2 seasons, it's not a huge success, but I'll still watch it just to see if I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. So.
Have you ever watched Firefly?
No.
See, now that's a show. That is an example. That's only one season, but you really should watch it. You really should watch Firefly. You will love it.
Yeah.
Truly, it's fun. It's exciting. Watch Firefly.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure. No worries. And yeah, because like I said, I like that whole thing. Have you seen Mindhunter yet?
Mindhunter?
Mindhunter. It's on Netflix.
Oh, Mindhunter? No.
Yeah, please do.
No, we would just talked about this weekend. I watched Logan Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, I can't believe that movie didn't do better than it did.
See, now that's one of those rare movies where I actually saw the previews for it, like on TV somehow. And at that time said, oh, I want to see this movie. And then it just showed up, like, again, on my HBO subscription from Prime. And so I was like, ooh. And so I watched it, and it's just a delightful little gem. I love it.
Yeah, I saw it on one of those free subscription things that they run on the weekend. It was like on Stars or something like that. And I was like, that was kind of a fun movie. And
it's like the redneck version of like the Oceans movies, Oceans 11, 12 and stuff.
Yeah, it's NASCAR Oceans is what I called it. And
they're pulling off some giant heist during whichever race it was, the 600.
Yeah, it was the Charlotte 600 or
there you go.
Whatever.
Yeah,
but the Daniel Craig was in it, James Bond, and I couldn't place him. I'm like, where have I seen this fucking guy? Because he's.
Oh, see, I knew it was him, and I was just like, oh, look at him, he's so different.
I knew it was somebody I knew. I just couldn't, and the guess was so far away from him because he's always played like cool British secret agent type guys, like in Layer Cake or in James Bond.
He's like this convict with like an American accent, and he's just kind of a smart ass. And it's like, oh, look at you go. Yeah. And he also seems like pretty small. Like he seems like a short little guy.
Yeah, he's not a tall guy. None of the James Bonds were super tall guys.
Really? Because you just assume they are. Cause film makes everyone look taller.
You know who they always made look tall that I found out isn't? Was Kevin Costner.
Zombie? Really?
Yeah.
I could see that, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's like just an even like 5'11", 6 feet tall. Terry thinks he's even shorter than that. He's met him before. And I thought he was like 6'4", 6'5". I thought he was always like super tall. So there's just some guys they want you to think are tall.
Well, I think it's the way they film everything. There's always the up shots. If you notice, they always have the camera angled, so you're always looking up at the person a little bit. I don't know.
I guess so.
The cat's awake.
Is that a metaphor?
No.
You know what I hate about this show compared to Lex and Terry?
What?
It's taken me 2 hours to eat a protein bar. I'm just trying to fit it in between sentences, and it's just two of us talking, so I'm so fucking hungry. Just a little, behind the scenes stuff there for you folks. But we do have
to. Sorry, I'm not carrying the show more. I could just hum and talk like this. And Lex is finishing his bar right now as I just keep talking about my dead donkey and talking about the cat who's woke up and is talking
we get
now.
It, Stacey. We got to go. Right. We're way over. All right, so it's your fault. Once again. Why? Because it always will be. So we will see you on the next one. That'll be the magical number we've been shooting for from the beginning. We said, I hope we do 140 of these, and that
was exactly what we thought.
That's right. So
that was the number we pulled right out of our butts.
Another goal obtained on the Threesome Podcast. Of the many we have. So we will see you on the next episode. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it very much. Goodbye.
Bye.